everybody, and welcome to Hi Mom, the podcast, a friendship simulation podcast with your friend, Kevin. Hi Mom. I am going to be joined today by my good friend, one of my best friends, really, Nicholas. Nick. He's a good friend of mine from real life, and we're going to be talking about Eastward. I'm so excited to have Nick on the podcast. He's actually one of the first persons that I approached about joining me for season 2 of the podcast, and he was so nervous about recording. He was like super chill at first, but then I think once I put the microphone in front of him, he got really nervous and he became really self-aware because he's never really done anything like this. And just the fact that he came on means so much to me, because I always kind of wanted to ask him, but he like very early expressed interest in not doing it or he expressed no interest in wanting to do it, if that makes sense. But that's not to say that Nick isn't a homie, because Nick is the definition of a homie. He's been supporting Hi Mom right from the get-go. He'll, like, when he was listening to season 1, he'll like randomly text me and just tell me about something that made him laugh, or he'll give me like his input or his insight, but he's listened to every single episode. And there's something that he says early on in this episode that's kind of a reference to the final episode of season 1. He kind of changed it up a little bit, but we're talking Animal Crossing. And if you remember in the season 1 finale, we start off that episode really hot. I don't remember the context exactly, but Jonathan and I, we did the type of sound, and then like I just threw in like a Black Lives Matter yo, and he thought it was hilarious because it had nothing to do with what we were talking about at the time. And so I think when we were talking Animal Crossing, I threw out another one of those and he did Duck Lives Matter or something. It's not to disparage or to diminish, the Black Lives Matter movement or anything like that. It's just a callback to something stupid that was done in the season 1 finale. But anyways, I'm rambling. This episode we're talking Animal Crossing. We talk a little bit of Nintendo 64, and we do a whole like video game discussion on the indie game from 2020, Eastward. We were both playing it at the same time. We even had moments where we were like on FaceTime, playing the game at the same time, while kind of like talking to each other or kind of helping each other get through certain aspects of the game. He helped me through a couple of puzzles that I was not being able to figure out. But as I mentioned, that we talked a little bit about Animal Crossing, and that's because this episode was recorded in early November, and it's the first episode that was recorded for season 2 of Hi Mom. At the time, I was aiming for like a mid to late November release for the start of season 2, and just the plan just kept getting pushed further and further back. But anyways, we're here for season 2, and that's why we're talking Animal Crossing. Despite it not really being relevant at this point, the update had just come out. He had been playing it. I kind of dabbled a little bit, but you guys will all hear that in just a moment. Thanks again for coming on to the show, Nick. I really hope that you enjoy this episode, because I had a lot of fun listening back to our conversation. And I hope that everybody else who isn't Nick enjoys this conversation as well. I think that our friendship really showcases through this conversation, and you can see exactly why we get along so well. Anyways, I'll see you guys all in the other side of the theme song. Bye, everybody. And we got a guest today. Say hello, friend.
Hello, friend.
Who are you, friend?
My name is Nick, a long-time listener, first-time caller. Thanks for having me.
Hey, buddy.
How's it going?
It's good. It's good. We're here today, with a lot to talk about, and because you and I ordinarily, play a lot of Switch games together, and we, do a lot of back and forth about it, we're gonna be talking about Eastward. But, Nick, before we actually get into that, yesterday, or was it yesterday? It wasn't yesterday, but it was I think the day before or so, the new Animal Crossing update went live.
Oh, yeah.
And you've been playing it a whole lot more than I have.
I wouldn't say a whole lot more. I mean, it was just one of those, I turned it on and it was there, so I wanted to check it out.
But
I don't have, hours invested into it like I did the rest of the game.
No, I mean, I know. I mean, we've both basically fallen off the game.
Pretty hard.
But, I mean, just, alright, as I got here, and, while I was kind of, getting things prepared to start recording, you were, you just instinctively loaded up Animal Crossing, did the ceremony with Brewster.
I was supposed to do that yesterday, but I kind of got sidetracked with a whole bunch of that.
I guess. I haven't played it at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But,
well, no, it was just like I said, that morning that I had turned it on, because, I get up stupid early. I saw that it was there, so I started checking it out, and then...
Was that at, 4 a.m?
Yeah, a little after.
Okay.
But I turned it on, and I saw that some of the stuff was just, simple, run around, get this done, plant this, and then, 20 minutes later, it was already time for the new day to start. New day.
New day, right.
And then it was okay, I was already halfway done with all the new, kind of... new stuff, I guess you could say, building the cafe and all that was already under construction, and the I had already kind of used the Captain's tour.
Nice. Oh yeah, well that's part of the whole Brewster thing, right? Yeah. So
yeah, that's what it was.
Yes, the extent to what I played of the update so far was because I don't know why, I just didn't really feel like doing it.
I didn't feel like it either until I really started I turned it back on and I was like, okay, this is kind of stupid, whatever. Let me check it out, and then
yeah.
As I started running around my island and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should clean this up, do this or that. And then I saw that, because I was watching some YouTube videos where they were explaining what it is in the new update. So I was like, okay, maybe if I clear out this area, I can do the new plants or whatever that they have. So I started messing around with that, and then I started running into, the little side quest that they give you, go talk to them and then come back and do this and that, do a flip, and then there you go.
Do a flip. It's funny because I watched the Animal Crossing Direct, right?
Uh-huh.
But you were not interested in watching it at all. You're like, all right, just kind of give me the bullet points of it. Yeah.
Well, at the time that it happened, I was in the middle of something at work, so I couldn't.
Oh, okay.
Before, it was at an earlier time, or it worked out. But this time, I actually had gotten busy with something on campus, kind of like we were supposed to watch the Nintendo Direct.
Oh, yeah.
Way back when.
Back when. Yeah. I came to work so that I could watch the Direct with you, but then work actually happened. There was actual work to do.
Stupid work. Who the hell do they think they are making us come here and work?
Paying me to be here.
Right? Donating this part of my life for some money. Shit.
No, but to the extent that I played so far of the game is, I loaded it up and then I went straight to the ATM inside, the townhouse.
Yeah, City Hall.
And I just started using my Nook miles that I had a gang saved up.
I did the same. I had 80,000 miles.
Yeah. I had about right there. And I just started kind of going through the list and just started
making it rain Nook miles.
Yeah, I got the new hairstyles, the new
See, I didn't do all that.
No,
I rock my crown, so I don't care.
Well, I looked at the hairstyles and I didn't really see anything different or anything that popped for me.
Oh, okay.
So I'm wondering if that's probably when you go to the new island and then how they have the new hairstylist there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It might be that. I don't know though.
Yeah.
And
I think it is because that's actually like. Have you been to the new island where you actually have to pay for the little things to bring in the vendors?
No.
Okay, so you have to go to Harv's Island, and you go up, and they have those little the fire hydrant looking things that are collecting. It says we're collecting 100,000 bells.
Yeah.
And we're gonna bring this person, right? So each one that they have, I think there's 4 or 5 of them that you can bring on. It's like
and you have to pay for it.
Yeah, it's 100,000 bells.
Jesus,
right? Damn, Tom Nook still stealing all my bells, man. I know I'm the town millionaire and stuff, but come on.
You know? All right.
So the first time I went straight to the one like on the furthest to the left because I was just like, well, I'll just do them in order, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't know that each one was a specific person. So the first one that I paid for was actually the old turtle. I guess he was the mayor before. I didn't play any of the other games. I started with this one.
Yeah, you started with this one. I started with New Leaf, but
okay.
Yeah.
But Tortimer, I think his name is. He's got a little top hat.
No, I started with New Leaf, and New Leaf, you're the mayor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
yeah. Well, this guy actually says I was the mayor before Nook got involved and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I guess he helps you with the storage capacity of the junk that you have on the island, I guess.
Oh, okay, cool.
So each one does something, and then just yesterday I went and I did the one for I forget his name, but he's the one that sells the plants, the little sloth dude.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the one that shows up in town square and like he sells you the plants and you sell him your weeds for.
Oh yeah. They kind of has like the look of like a clown, kind of.
Yeah, a sloth. But he looks like a lazy raccoon.
I always thought it was a she.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, whatever.
I wasn't paying attention to names and stuff, as you can tell.
Yeah, neither have I.
But yeah, so they like all the people that normally would come and hang out in your town square for a couple, for the day.
Yeah.
You have them now set on this little Harv's Island place. You take the regular plane. It only costs 1,000 Nook miles or something, and then you go there, and then you can go and visit each individual vendor.
Right.
So they're just there.
Kind of like a little swap meet or something, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a little open air swap meet.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I mean, I was supposed to, when you were pulling up all that stuff, I was going to actually check because I had just paid for the bells for the garden guy, and I was going to go buy another one, but we got kind of sidetracked and looking up this stuff.
Okay, I didn't... Dude, you've done more than I have. And like I've yet to reveal what I've done, but it's because I haven't done much. I said, I literally went to the ATM, started ordering using some of the Nook miles on some of the stuff. Like I said, the hairstyles, the makeup, the camera. Yeah, camera's fucking dope.
See, I haven't bought it.
Dude, I love the camera.
I don't see the point. I don't take a lot of the pictures and stuff.
Oh, okay, well the camera feature was one of my favorites.
What's different about it from like?
Dude, it goes into first person perspective.
Oh, okay.
And then like if you hit the minus button, you can actually set it up as a tripod, and then so you can instill in that like low angle camera.
Okay.
You can actually like run around and just take like a
You just record yourself acting a fool or what?
I guess.
I kind of do that all the time.
Yeah, but basically, so I haven't really spent a whole lot of time with it. But one of the first things that I did was use the first person camera and perspective on taking a picture of Cap'n when he's like kicked back on the on the boat with his hands behind his head, just chilling. And I was just like sick. So then I tried to set the tripod, but because the dock is like really
it's real small.
Like I couldn't actually run around.
Yeah.
But
but if you were to set it up on the beach on the other side so that it kind of faces,
I could try.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could try it.
Instead of being on the dock facing the boat, it would be on the beach, kind of facing the dock and the boat. So you're kind of.
I'm gonna give it a try.
This way.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try.
Okay. But there's a lot of features that I haven't played with, and honestly, it seems like I've done a lot, but in gameplay, it's not. It's just at the time that I played, it was like 20 minutes from the old day to the new day, so I was able to kind of fast forward something that would take a full day.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, just because of the
day reset.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I bought something here, and then instead of it being delivered the next calendar day, the day resets at 5, I think. So it was able to just reset 20 minutes later. So I was able to, while still in that same session, I was able to kind of do more.
Yeah. Okay. No, I get you. Yeah, cause like I did that, went to Captain's, talked to Brewster, and then was completely confused with the Brewster conversation.
Oh,
like it was so vague.
You threw me off too. The only reason why I knew what to do was because I was watching one of the YouTube channels, and then they had, this is what you do to get Brewster, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just kind of do that.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, talked to Brewster, and then I went back and talked to Blathers, and Blathers is like, cool, all right, I'll make preparations. I was like, wait, that's it?
That's kind of what I thought too. I thought he was gonna give me like another, okay, now you got to go do this, you know? Cause
yeah.
It seemed like for...
Yeah, well, I think what threw me off was that he gives you the gyroid fragment.
Yeah.
And I thought that, I was like, oh, okay, so it's gonna be like a little quest line surrounding the gyroids.
I thought I had to collect a certain amount.
Yeah.
Different types.
Because that's what you did with everything else.
Exactly.
Like, if you were going to set up the museum, you had to donate a certain amount of fossils.
And that's what I was ready. I went and I was like, all right, I'm just going to pull, like, as many bells as I can hold and then see how much it was going to cost. Because honestly, it was like...
That's what Blather said. He's like... What did he say? He said, he was like, yeah, he's nuts about gyroids the same way that I'm nuts about fossils. So I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah, the same way Nook's nuts about my bells. It's like everything's ridiculous. So I did I upgraded the storage in my house, right? And since I hadn't played, I'm like, okay, I think the last update that had came out, you were able to do the same. So I was like, okay, because I've already completely upgraded my house and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
So at this point, I don't really play because all I do is collect bells. And
you essentially did everything you could do up to that point, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's like, I don't want to have to...
at one point, you just started grinding up bells just because?
Yeah, just because I wanted to see my bank account. Like, I started buying everyone crowns just because they were 1,000,000 bells each. You know, I think I gave you one.
You gave me a crown, yeah.
I gave one to one of my favorite villagers.
Shout him out, man. Shout him out.
My boy Quill. That's my boy. Duck's lives matters, yo. Quill's a duck.
Yeah, and then I didn't play at all yesterday, but that was like when, it was supposed to be under construction.
Oh,
and then I loaded it up.
So
today.
you kind of skipped that.
Yeah, I skipped all of that.
Yeah, see me, I was an idiot and I actually went back and I was like, all right, let me try to find more of these gyroids. And I was like, okay, I'm going to start collecting all my fruit and all that so that I can sell it, just so that I can prepare for
Wait,
having
did you
to
say
buy
you
all
got
this
carrots
stuff.
or tomatoes or something?
Yeah, so I ended up going to one of the mystery islands, I think it was. And, before you would go and it'd be like trees and stuff. Now, there's still trees, but now there's actually like little... Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm confusing it because that one is with Cap'n.
Oh, okay.
So you go back with Cap'n and then he gets you to these different types of islands. Oh, and then that's where I was able to get the tomatoes. And then I think there's other ones that you go...
I was actually really disappointed in the islands that, I haven't gone again, but, that first island where Brewster was at, I was pretty disappointed in the island just because, the experience with Cap'n is super nostalgic for me.
Oh, okay.
Because
this is my first time I've ever ridden on a boat, and I looked majestic as hell in my coat and my crown. I'll tell you. I took a snapshot. I'm gonna have to send it to you.
Yeah, for sure. But it was just the same islands that you go through when you go through the airport.
Yeah.
And I mean, in New Leaf, it would take you to kind of like I wouldn't really call it a resort or anything, but they had a little bit more going on.
Well, I think that first one was just because it was, like, the quest to get Brewster.
Oh, okay.
Because when I went back, I mean, it was still the same as the Mystery Islands, but now you had the new fruits. So, like, this one, I was able to get tomatoes, but they still have, like, you could fish, you could do this, and then on a video that I was watching, I saw that there's, like, vines or something that you can take. So instead of a ladder, you take these vines.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I don't know how that works, but I saw that they're there.
Yeah, no, it's really cool, because then, like, you can just set them up, and you don't ever have to worry about...
about the ladder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you can actually probably even take it out of your inventory.
I tried.
It doesn't let you?
No, it does, but I didn't realize I use it as much as I do,
Yeah.
It's like I had the... is this Red the Fox?
Yeah.
The art dealer?
Yeah.
I took my ladder out, and then because he's behind my house, I have to go down 2 flights.
Oh, yeah. You built
I built up a little hill because I want to live in the hills where the air is crisp. So then I didn't have it on my inventory, so I had to go back into the house, go back into the storage, and then get it. It didn't take long, but it's just kind of a pain to have to go back and forth for something as dumb as a ladder.
Yeah, okay.
And the vines is I wouldn't be able to see, so I'd probably constantly miss where it is because it's on the back side of the hill.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
The way that they made that little area, is if you could have put it on one side of the island instead of on the
built your house
back.
in the wrong spot, man.
No, I didn't.
You did.
It's crisp where I built.
All right. Anyways, yeah. So the reason I didn't even put I was gonna log into the game yesterday, and the reason I didn't was because I got the Nintendo 64 controller.
Oh, you bastard! I gotta get one. Now that I see it, I gotta get one.
And I knew that was gonna happen. I sent you the link. I was like, dude, buy it.
Dude, but I had just bought my Pro controller, and I really didn't want to be like, okay, I'm gonna get another controller. I gotta be responsible.
I see you buy so much other shit, like for your cars and stuff.
That's different.
How is it different?
Because it's cars. And a lot of the times it's maintenance stuff. It's not like I'm not lowering them as much as I used to anymore. Stuff like that.
Yeah. So, anyways, I was gonna load up Animal Crossing, but then I think I got the controller right, and I was like, all right, let's test it out, right?
Yeah, you have to try it.
Yeah, I had to try it, right? So, dude, I had I flashed back to when I was 10 years old or something, because I found myself not even sitting on the couch. I was just straight up just laying on the floor, my stomach on the ground.
Straight kid style.
Yeah, playing, holding the controller, the 64 controller.
Yeah.
And then reaching over for my bag of Halloween candy. just popping in.
Were you in tabletop mode or did you have?
Yeah, I was on tabletop mode. Just no, I didn't. I think that
it would have been even funnier if you would have had it on the TV, because you're sitting there like a little kid.
Yeah.
I just imagine your dad walking in, just be like, okay, and it's quietly closing the door as he walks out.
Nah, it was on tabletop mode. I think I even posted it on my Instagram story. It was Friday night or something. It was just kind of funny to me. I'm over here playing Mario 64, just reaching over for candy and.
Yeah. So you know what's funny is I haven't played Ocarina of Time since I was probably 13, 14.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I had gotten my 3DS, I bought it on a whim, I normally do. Being bored, and then so I started playing Ocarina of Time. I got to about where I'm at now, and I was like, I don't remember. Well, now that I'm playing it on the Switch, I was like, I don't remember it being as easy as it is, or as fast as it was, because the game came out when I was 12,
right?
And then my uncle had actually bought me the N64 for my birthday because it had just released. Mm-hmm. So he's like, you can have a PlayStation or you can have an N64. And one of my buddies had a PlayStation, and I was like, I hate the loading time. Just give me the N64, because it came with the game. I don't remember which game it was. Yeah. It was probably Mario. I think it was because it was on the box.
Okay.
So then I was like, all right, let's try Zelda. It was my first time I've ever played it or whatever, because I never had... My first console was a Sega.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't have the Nintendo stuff, My buddies did, but I didn't.
You're a Sega kid.
Kinda.
So are you playing the Genesis app or not?
I'm not.
No?
No.
Wow.
And it's funny because when I had the Sega, I had Sonic, right?
Yeah.
So then I was like, all right, cool. Sonic's dope, whatever. And then I got Madden 95. It was I wanted Tecmo Bowl because, it was on Nintendo and I couldn't get it, whatever, No big deal, whatever. So I started, playing that, and I got into Sonic and Knuckles, and, I went down that path.
Yeah,
And then somehow I ended up with this, well, not somehow, but, I ended up with Nintendo. And then I beat Zelda, and it was funny because I was playing Ocarina of Time, and we go out of town when I'm in the middle of this game. I literally just went into adult mode, everything got dark, and then I leave out of town for 3 days.
Yeah.
So I'm the whole time I'm like, oh my god, what did I do? These poor villagers,
You had forgotten what happened?
Took over. And
Did you
No,
forget?
I was I felt bad because, I was I can't go back and save them.
Oh, okay. You're talking as a kid.
Yeah, as a kid.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking that you're talking about when, when
after
the
you come out?
3DS, yeah.
Oh, no. I'm talking about, as a kid,
Yeah, okay.
So, everything was extremely long in between because, when you're a kid, your concept of time is just,
yeah,
everything is forever and a day.
Yeah, the Castle Town it's so depressing when you go for, like
right.
Anyways, let's talk about Eastward.
Take it back. Take it back.
Alrighty, Nicholas, let's talk about Eastward.
What do you want to talk about?
What did you think of the game?
Okay, so I was kind of lost in the story.
Yeah.
Because of how much dialogue it had, and a lot of the times I would kind of.
Okay, hold on. All right. Let's back up a little.
We just started.
I know. All right. Okay, Eastward. I guess in a sentence or two, did you enjoy the game?
Oh yeah, definitely. It had that Zelda-esque feel. I really did enjoy the like little side puzzles and like the dungeons and stuff like that. Really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Like I was gonna actually tell you, like I think I might actually want to go back through it.
You want to play it again?
I think so.
Oh, interesting.
Because okay, so on this one, you know, normally I'm the guy that talks to everybody in that first town, and then
Yeah.
This time I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody. Like I'm gonna be totally antisocial. I'm not talking to nobody. I'm going straight to the quest.
In Eastward?
Yeah.
Because the long-winded dialogue?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I kind of did something very similar because I was on the fence about picking up Eastward.
Really?
Like, I thought...
Dude, you're the one that talked me into it.
Let me explain, Nicholas. Let me explain.
So quick to spend my money. Just like that damn Tom Nook.
Yeah, but I didn't see any of that money. No, okay. I was on the fence about picking it up. I just thought it looked... Like, visually, I thought it looked awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge fan of pixel art. And
okay.
I really don't like that a lot of these AAA developers have just kind of abandoned it, you know?
Yeah.
Like even like say Nintendo like if they're going to remake a game in 2D or like have like the where like the 2D or like the sprite based artwork, like where it really shine on games like that, if they remake them, they make them in like 3D models, but have like the perspective shifted a little bit to kind of recapture that 2D ness to it. But I just wish that they would play with it more, or like
Yeah.
So so when I seen Eastward, I was just like, yeah, this game looks really, 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 really pretty.
No, it does look dope. Like I was actually kind of like, all right, this is actually pretty cool. I like the way that it's got like that throwback feel. But
yeah, but what happened with me was, I was like, okay, I kept hearing that it was a 30-hour game. And so...
I'm trying to think how many hours I have.
I clocked in at 19.
I think I'm around there. I'm like at 19, 20.
Okay, yeah, I clocked in like 1910 or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so when I started the game, I'm like, I just bought this game. Why did I buy it? I bought it because it looks really cool, but I don't know if I can even commit to this.
Well, yeah, because you got like 8 other games that you're playing right now.
I'm terrible at committing to games. But yeah, so I was like, all right. I'm not gonna explore. I'm just gonna do what you did. Like I'm just gonna like go through the game and shit, and just kind of get through it as fast as I possibly can.
Well, that wasn't the goal, but it was like one of those.
Well, that was my goal, Nick. That was my goal. But then I got really charmed by the game, and then I ended up getting sucked into it.
So you slowed it down?
I slowed it down, yeah,
okay.
and I started taking my time.
Uh-huh.
I really like a lot of these characters, but
yeah. Like, see, for me, I was having a lot of trouble. Like, I was getting home, later in the day, and then I loaded up, and I'm like, I'm gonna play for a little bit before I go to bed, or while dinner's being made, or something like that.
Yeah.
But because of the dialogue, it was like I started like dozing off. Like, you know what I mean? So I think like a lot of the early parts of the game I don't really remember because it was like I would be hitting A, like reading and like doing one of like wake up 5 minutes later like
Yeah.
shit, what happened?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I remember you would text me and you would just say like, dude, this dialogue.
Yeah, dude, that's the one thing about this game. Like if they had it to where they would just like read to you, like all right, cool. You know, there's those games where you're like, all right, it's not really a cutscene, but you can speed the language.
Yeah.
Or it'll just sit there and like read it.
Or have like an automatic one. Like,
yeah, and it'll talk to you, you know? And I'm like, all right, cool, at least I can listen to it or whatever. But this one was like slow. You couldn't really speed, because I'm kind of a speed reader.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, all right, this is slow and draining and forever, you know?
Yeah, I didn't mind it, but just because I was charmed by the characters.
Oh, okay.
I was charmed by the world. So,
I was tired. I was falling asleep.
Yeah. Okay, so what moments like really stood out to you in the game? Like you're like, oh fuck.
A lot of it had to do with more later in the game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because it's like when in the beginning when you meet the mayor and you're like, that guy's kind of,
he's a dick.
Yeah, he's kind of a douche, you know?
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, I hope I get to kick his ass, but that wasn't the case.
All right. So I was hoping the same thing. I was hoping that the mayor would kind of come back, and then like he would have his just desserts moments where life humbles him and something, you know?
Yeah.
And then when we didn't come back to the underground, I really thought we were gonna go back to the underground.
And so did I. And then that's why I thought there was gonna be a link between.
Yeah, but when we didn't, I was like, cool, because I really didn't care for the underground.
I wanted a closure. I wanted to kick his ass.
No, man, I think the closure was when his town got, or when his house got destroyed.
True. On the train that we were sentenced to death on.
Exactly.
But still, I wanted to kick his ass. I wanted to beat him with a pan.
He destroyed his house.
I think that was the best part, is that John's weapon of choice is a pan. You know? And I mean, not just it's a pan, but it upgrades as you go through the game.
Yeah. I really loved that it's a pan, but it's like the in-universe reason that why he walks around with the pan is just because he's a fucking great ass cook,
right? It's like this guy's a world-class chef, but he looks like a homeless guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, chapter 3 kind of dragged a little bit, but it really kind of emphasized the whole like John is a great cook.
Yeah.
So I guess.
Did you use the cooking method, like the cooking thing a lot?
I love the cooking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually follow recipes, or were you just like throw everything in a pan and see how it goes? Because that's how I am. I'm just like, all right, this sounds good. Throw it all together. And then...
So initially, I thought that the cooking was gonna be like Breath of the Wild, where you can actually fail.
Oh, okay.
But no, it doesn't really seem to be that way. It's more like type of ingredient. So you can throw in a fruit, you can throw in a vegetable, and you can throw in, like
the eggs or the
whatever dairy. Yeah, and it's like it's dairy, fruit, vegetable makes this dish.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you use cherries or if you use lemons.
Okay, see, I started picking up on that because I would make like potatoes, broccoli, and a fish, and it would always be a fish plate. Or, like if I had a fish in there at all, it was a fish plate. Even if I would have mixed it with something like another type of meat, you know.
But I got really into it. Like my only thing was that like I hated that I couldn't find enough ingredients.
Oh, okay. Did you get the treasure finder?
I got the treasure finder like way later.
Oh, okay.
But I regretted it so badly because I remember you telling me like, dude, you should get that. Yeah,
there was a lot of stuff that in the game. Like I noticed that towards the end of the game, you said that you didn't really have a lot of money.
No,
right?
dude, I was broke.
Yeah, dude, I was able to upgrade everything. Like right before that final boss, I was able to upgrade everything. I bought all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. In
preparation for it, and I still had.
Yeah, between chapters 4 and chapters 6.
Okay.
I was broke.
Yeah, see, I got the treasure finder, I think, in New Dam Town.
Yeah.
What was that, chapter 3?
New Dam City, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, New Dam City. So I got it then, and it was one of like the first things that I bought. And that's because I didn't know what it was. Yeah. I walk into the store and here's this robot guy. He's like, what do you want? You know, I'm like, well, give me this, and that, you know?
Yeah. And
then after that, I started noticing the thing would beep every so often. And then sure enough, you'd find like, in the town, there'd be like, okay, you have to walk up the side of the building, or not walk up it, but you know, like walk behind it. And it didn't look like you can get back there. And there's like a playground with the treasure chest back there. Mm-hmm. But it looked like one of those floor freezers kind of things. You know, the standalone freezers?
Yeah, yeah.
It would look like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, there's a cooler with, some money in it.
Yeah, okay, so I remember you telling me about it, and you're like, yeah, I'm good, like, I'm taken care of, I'm sitting pretty,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm so broke, and I don't know how I'm gonna finish this game, because I can't afford ingredients to cook, I can't afford anything to, like the health packs,
Yeah.
like, I'm not finding any like, any raw materials, like...
So then were you like...
Like, I felt like I was playing on hard mode.
Yeah.
And then, like, this game is really stingy about giving you hearts.
Oh, big time.
So,
dude, that was one of the things that would frustrate the hell out of me,
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
damn. And then I guess to a point where it feels like it starts to feel sorry for you. Like, all right, this is the 4th time you've died. I'm going to give you, like, more hearts to try to fight this boss again.
Okay, all right. So this is my standout moment. And it was, I wouldn't even say, like, it was just like, oh, this was great. I fucking hated the game in this moment. By the way, I love this game. I know
what you're talking about.
I love this game, but dude, it wasn't even a boss fight.
Yeah.
It was right before the boss fight when you're climbing what was it called? Esther Tower?
Okay. I think so.
Let me
Is it when there's waves of like monsters?
Eternal Tower. Yeah.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
when you have waves of monsters. And then each wave of monster would come when you would have to like use Sam's power to kind of destroy like the little bubble barrier.
Yeah.
Dude, I think I must have done that like at least 15 times.
Is that the part I texted you about? When I was like, dude, these freaking waves of monsters, I'm trying to run through it and I'm not.
Possibly, but I was behind you.
Yeah.
I was behind you in the game, so I didn't know what you were talking about.
2 weeks behind me.
Yeah. And then like I go, fuck! Like, oh! And then my pops comes in and he goes, is everything okay? Like, yeah, everything's fine.
You're like, no, leave me alone.
The world is so unfair.
Who said life was fair, Junior?
Yeah, so no, but the moment I got the opportunity after that, I guess explore again. I just went straight to go buy the little thing.
Oh, okay.
And then it like paid for itself within like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I told you. I tried
Like,
to save you all that pain and agony, but
and for whatever reason in my head I thought it was like 200 salts. I think that's the currency.
I think so, which is kind of funny that they use great salt.
Yeah. Well, it's a post-apocalyptic world, man.
But was it though?
Low key.
Like the underground was, but above ground wasn't.
I think that there were signs that like they had.
I guess
dealt
that's
with
why
the
I was so
catastrophe.
confused. Yeah.
They had, well, there were signs that they had dealt with something, and they were little by little building back up.
Yeah.
Which is why some of the city, like I think New Dam City was probably one of those like rare exceptions that, like when everything was like when the dust settled in the initial apocalypse, it was one of those that it survived, like it wasn't as damaged as like elsewhere.
Yeah.
That it could build itself up.
Okay, and maybe that's what was throwing me off then, because it's like as soon as you walk in the New Dam City, you're like, okay, these are like buildings. You know?
Yeah, because
everything else is like a shanty.
yeah, because even and then like you got characters like Lee and Alva who are like integral to why the city was able to
that's true.
Avoid the miasma.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but I mean, I wanted to save that when we talk about the characters and shit.
Sorry,
but yeah, that was like my big standout moment. Like where I was just like, I wanted to throw my Switch, and I was like, nope. I
had a moment like that where I was in the middle of a boss fight. I'm sitting on my bed, I'm playing, and my wife comes and she sits down on the other side.
Yeah.
And my son was laying down right there, so she kind of jumps over him, and it was a timing thing where you had to get the timing right?
Yeah.
And she hits me just when I was supposed to push the button. And as that moment, it killed me. It was my last hit. I would have been done. And no, I was like, ah,
she made
no,
you no.
Like she literally killed me, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh, Jeanette.
It was like the frustration set in. I was like, the game, like damn it. And it was like the final boss fight, and it was like where the timing.
It was it was the final boss?
Literally the final boss fight. It was my last hit.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I don't want to say it now, but you know, where it's like, you have to wait and then.
Yeah.
And then, like, right as I was about to, boom, I was like, no.
You know what? You know what makes it even funnier? That while I was setting up, you redid the boss fight.
That was an accident.
And you beat it. You beat it like nothing.
Honestly, it was way easier this time than it was when I was doing it that time. It was, I don't get it. But then again, I did use all my, I used a lot of health packs.
Mm-hmm. This time around or the first time?
No, this time.
Okay.
I had them on me, but I didn't use them.
I think what happens is that, when you're, the initial time that you do a final boss fight, because it's the final boss fight, you kind of build it up in your head that, like, you don't know how many waves are going to come or how many phases. Yeah, so you don't want to you want to be a little bit more conservative with your inventory,
Yeah. And see, me, I'm like the kind of guy that's like, all right, I'm going to get in there. I'm just like, start button smashing and like smack the hell out of him with my pan,
Yeah, yeah.
But apparently this game is, that's what's kind of cool, is that this game makes you slow down like that. A lot of the boss fights and a lot of the fights are like a timing thing. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how upgraded your weapons are. It's like, if your timing is off, you're gonna get messed up.
Yeah, all right. Let's go ahead and talk about gameplay, because I really love the gameplay. Just the way you were saying, like, a lot of it is like time based and stuff, and looking for the opportunity. I think you were you having trouble with, was it when you fought Solomon in where I think he had like 2 arms or something?
No, that one I didn't have too much trouble. It was the train one.
It was the train one?
Yeah, and then once I got the movements down, because like I said, it was a timing thing.
Okay.
Right? And then I figured out that, I don't know if you want me to say it, but like the train, when it comes at you, it never uses the same path twice. I don't know if you picked up on that.
I didn't, no.
Yeah, so if it comes down on the very bottom part of the rack, if you stay down there, it will not come down that same path. So you have a way of escaping whatever bombs are thrown in case it comes on the middle or the top one.
Oh, I never picked up on that.
Yeah, so I was, I don't remember how I did it, but I was right behind, like, it passed me, and then I, like, went up to that just to, because I was up on the top corner of the screen, you know? So it passed on the top, and I stayed up there, and I was like, shoot, what if it comes this way? So I moved back to the right, and then it came through the bottom one. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And then I think something happened where I turned my head, and I turned back around, and it came down, a different one again. I was like, okay, that was gonna, somehow I picked up on that it doesn't use the same path twice. So I was like, okay, I kind of got my out. And then when it came down time to like actually start hitting it, I forgot. But I ended up behind Solomon's, like, when he comes out and it stops, and there's like the train carts behind it. If you stand by the train carts, the little things that he shoots doesn't hit you.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that, like, it was tough for sure.
Dude, but I did like 5 times. I did and I think maybe that's why I had enough time to study it.
Yeah. No, I beat it, I think on my second try or third try.
Yeah, I kept getting hit with because, okay, the game is stingy on hearts.
Yeah.
I had no hearts in my reserve. I didn't cook anything.
Yeah.
So I was like restarting with 3 or 4.
Okay.
And then the little monkeys that were throwing those bananas would get me every single time.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially on the one where it went down the middle, and it was like, I have nowhere to go. Like, I have to take this So it would kill me every time.
Oh, good, man.
No, it wasn't good. It's frustrating.
Yeah, but you got it. You did it. And you learned the patterns.
It still took 4 times more than I wanted it to.
But, I mean, it actually posed a challenge, though.
It does, but I'm one of those guys, like, I don't want to do it more than once. Just because frustration sets in, and then I don't get back to the game. Which is why Tales of Vesperia is still sitting there not finished.
It's weird because, like, the game is, like, weirdly easy at times, but then it also can be kind of challenging.
I think that's why I liked it so much.
Yeah, I really liked it too. Like, I would die, but, and then also I really was a big fan of the game over music. So
that's what got frustrating for me, is because it's like, I know I died, damn it. Stop reminding me.
I would just kind of take a moment to listen to the music sometimes.
Nah, see, that just pissed me off.
But there was always like this, I was filled with determination to keep going.
I guess I use my frustration as a
I'm gonna get you. Yeah.
Like, damn it, this time.
And but the puzzles were like not super complicated either.
Yeah.
But they were, I mean, like, they were somewhat simple, but, like, still, they felt really rewarding to...
Yeah. You know which one I got stuck on, like, the most is the one where the miasma's chasing you, and you have to use Sam to get on the other side, and then John has to get on a little floaty raft thing.
Yeah.
And you have to time it to where it, like, John will come this way, shoot the bomb, you gotta go this way, and then Sam has to...
In which chapter?
Release this one. It had to have been chapter...
Early or...
No, it was later in the game.
Okay. Is it, like, right before you ride the Jeep? Because...
That I don't remember. I think it was after the Jeep. No, the Jeep was earlier in the game.
No.
No?
No, the Jeep was,
I don't know. The Jeep was fun, though.
Yeah, Jeep was up. No, it was, yeah, that was part of, like, the later part of the game.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That was definitely...
It might have been in the same dungeon thing then.
Mm-hmm. Because
it's like, the miasma's chasing you, and you only have a certain amount of time to get out of this little area before it gets you. And it's like, you have to use John to get on this thing, but because it's like, there's crates in the way, so he has to bomb them, but Sam can't use it. And then there's those little flower things that you have to knock down.
Yeah. So
you have to kind of push forward. But once I figured out, like, oh, he doesn't have to do that. Like, you have to go up, you know? So.
The one puzzles that I like, that stood out to me that I really liked was when, in Monchollywood.
There was where you gotta sneak past the lights and stuff?
Yeah.
I really like those.
Yeah, where they capture them and you have to get your weapons back.
Yeah, you're jailbreaking into the prop sets.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one where I got kind of stuck because I seen the little tunnels that only Sam could go through.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay. All right, so I'm just going to leave John here. And like, okay, so John would be up on the top screen.
Yep.
And then Sam would be on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
And I guess like I was supposed to be moving them both simultaneously.
Yeah.
But
I got stuck on that same sequence.
So the first few times I was just trying to do it with Sam.
Yeah.
And then I found out, I was like, man, how do I get past that last monkey? And I figured it out. I got through it. And I tried walking off screen. I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot about John.
Then it makes things a lot harder when he doesn't have the power to turn on a light over here to make them investigate, you know?
Right, yeah. But that one was a cool puzzle. I really liked that one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed when you have to use them both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple. I fell into a dungeon, right, where I don't know how or where it was, but it was like a side quest thing where you have to go in there and you have to use them both. And it's one like in the same room. You have to switch between them like 6 times because there's these lock combinations on these doors. So it's like there's a total of like there's like 6 doors and then 3 buttons on each side. So you as John have to go in on one side in order to bomb this door, and then you have to stand on this latch so that Sam can come back around, go through the other door, and you're constantly doing opposite things for the other person. And
I remember that one.
Yeah.
That one, dude, I could not wrap my head around that one. I think you actually had to help me through that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because...
No, I think the one you're thinking about, that one was like because you didn't notice that the little bombs, you had to bomb something on the bottom. So the raft would bring you back around.
Yeah, but a little bit after that. Oh. There was like where you had to kind of unlock the... Is it that same area or no?
No, because where I was in the forest and I found like an abandoned shack. So you go in this building, and there's a big hole in the ground. So it's like, okay, so you go down in the hole, and then there's a dungeon, and there's a boss, like a mini boss fight. Mm-hmm. But I kept dying, and I got frustrated. I said, screw it, I'll come back to it. But once you get into the next chapter, you can't go back. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
So it was like, well, there goes that. You know, whatever. But it was when we have to meet up with the 2 construction worker guys at that train station.
Oh, okay.
It was on the way to there, in that forest area.
Oh, okay.
It was like a little bottom, like you go into one screen and then there's like a little bottom building, and then it's like, you go in there, and it's total side quest. It has nothing to do with the story, but...
I don't think I did it then.
Okay. I remember I mentioned it to you, but you were like, I don't know where that's at. And I was like, I don't even know how to explain where I'm at, you know?
Yeah.
But looking back at it, it was in that forest area.
Okay, cool. I didn't...
Because I remember passing it when we had to run the mission through that forest area, and then you go through, and then that's where you're fighting those mushrooms that keep spawning little mushrooms. Damn annoying little mushrooms.
Yeah, some of those monsters were a little bit tougher than the actual boss fights.
Dude, those frogs.
Yeah. The ones that I like, I started to hate, but then by the end of the game, like I kind of started liking them a little bit. Was the skeleton dogs?
Okay.
Yeah, just because the way
I avoided those.
I avoided.
Yeah, I didn't like them.
I didn't like them either, and I'm like, man, these guys are tough.
Yeah.
And the way that I ended up having to learn how to deal with them was because of those waves.
Oh, okay.
The waves that I got stuck on.
Yeah.
Because and then like the way I did it was I would just like switch between Sam and John.
Oh, okay.
And so I would just have Sam.
Did you freeze him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I would just go back and just.
I didn't figure that out until later. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just running around with my gun blasting these people, and then I was trying to use my flamethrower. And the one thing I didn't like about the flamethrower is that it went through your ammo way too quick.
Yeah. I stopped using as soon as they gave us the gear gun. Yeah. I stopped using the flamethrower altogether.
Same.
Yeah. But let's talk about that. All right. So John has a pan, right? And then he has bombs, which is, I mean, cool, like very Zelda-esque, right? Up until this point, I'm like,
even the way you use them, it's like, and then later in the game you get the remote bomb.
Yeah. Which is like,
and then the floaty one,
Yeah. I didn't like the floaty one. No.
I think the pattern that one had always threw me off because it's like I'm gonna hit it one way and then it's gonna focus on the thing, so it would like bounce back and then stop. And then go right at what I wanted it to,
Yeah.
So I never knew it was actually going to go where I wanted it to.
Yeah, me too. That's why I didn't really care for it.
Yeah.
But, okay, so yeah, you got bombs, and then, standard bombs in the beginning of the game, and then eventually they start giving you a little bit more fancier bombs, and I'm like, okay, this is really cool. This is kind of taking it past the Zelda clone-ish, Kind of giving it...
Well, I mean, Zelda kind of did the same thing. Remember when in Ocarina of Time where you got your bombs?
And then the bomb chews?
The bomb chews, and then... So, I mean, it still had that same feel, but I guess it was like this time you had air bombs.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I think it did a pretty good job of kind of getting away from the, like we're a Zelda clone,
Yeah.
Because of, like, your weapons,
Mm-hmm.
But, the bombs and the pan, I'm like, okay, cool, pretty Zelda standard stuff. But then when they introduce guns... Yeah. I'm like, all right.
That's where I stayed.
Like, all right,
I'm
gonna
blast you from across the room.
Yeah.
The sucky part was that it didn't have that much range.
No, I didn't.
So you had to get closer.
Yeah.
And okay, you remember when you're fighting those little zombie things?
Yeah.
And then it turns into that little freaking. It reminded me of like an aloe vera plant.
Yeah, when it starts to kind of run at you.
Yeah, when it started running at me, I was like, all right. Screw this thing. I'm trying to shoot at it. It's not working, and then finally he's like, duh, idiot. All you gotta do is dodge it. So I'm sitting there trying to smack the hell out of it with my pan because that's what I do, And I was like, all right, I'm taking like a bunch of hits and I'm like standing at it like, okay, I'm gonna block it this time. So I'm sitting there and smacking the hell out of it, and it didn't work. It didn't work. I don't like that you're laughing at me this much.
No, I just like, all right, idiot. You just kind of you just move to the right.
Okay, so when I play games, I'm more of a offense first. I'm not a defensive player. I'm that Leroy Jenkins kind of player. I don't know if I'm just gonna run in.
Man, that's so funny. Oh man.
So I was never good in Halo team making. I was a guy. I was like, all right, the boys, let's do this. And then all right, guys.
Hold on. Their guns blazing.
I'm responding. This time, guys. This time. All right, I'm responding.
Oh man, my jaw kind of hurts.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but oh man, I completely lost my train of thought. I was going somewhere with what you were gonna say, and then I lost it already.
You were laughing at me because I couldn't figure out how to move to the left. Although sometimes it got hard because I had to move to the right.
Yeah. Whoa, I didn't know that was an option.
Well, apparently neither did I, because I stood there trying to smack the damn thing. Speaking of the battle sequence, did it annoy you sometimes that if Sam got hit while trailing you, it would kill you?
Yes. So, at some, like, in certain instances, like that wave boss, I mean, those wave monsters, I actually kind of just tried leaving Sam in the corner.
I did the same thing.
And then for the most part, it was working for a little bit because I noticed that some of the monsters were really only focusing on, who's controlling.
Yeah.
So I would leave her there kind of on the side, like hoping that she doesn't get hit. And then
those same stupid little things would start running at her.
Yeah.
Well, at least on my part.
Yeah. It started happening, and I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work.
I'm like, damn it, man.
Yeah.
And then, or like there would be times where something was shooting something, and I'd be dodging it cool, but Sam's like way behind me, and she's the one getting hit.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I really like about this game, though, that it really kind of inspires that creativity to kind of go about things.
No.
Well, I mean,
I was like, that's not fair. Kill her. Leave me alone.
Like, oh well, you can use your pan if you want, or you can use your bombs, or you can because there was a bunch of monsters that I would just kind of use the bombs to kind of it was more so with the mini bosses.
Earlier in the game, were you like, did you switch back and forth between Sam like fighting?
No, it was something that I really started to adopt towards the end of the game.
Okay, see, I didn't even like know that I can do that until the game kind of forced you to switch.
Okay,
you know where I think there's one of the dungeons where you have to lead as Sam because you have to either like brighten up the area, or you have to get rid of a path that only her power can use.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Clear out the miasma. Thing. Yeah.
So I didn't really even know that was an option. I thought she was just like, I'm just gonna trail this guy. You know what I mean? And then after that, I started noticing, okay, things are easier when you freeze them first, you know?
Yeah, that kind of just became my tactic.
Way too late.
Well, because I couldn't afford ammo, and I couldn't afford bombs, and I couldn't afford...
Oh, no, see, not me. I was like, make it rain. Give me all the ammo I can get.
Yeah, no, I stopped... I would use it when, it was available, but, like, the pan was my weapon of choice by default.
Well... Like I said, I'm one of those guys. I just run in and start smacking the shit out of things.
I play broke.
Okay, so did you find that to be like a good kind of
challenger?
Yeah, like
no. I think,
but it made, like you said, it made you more creative in the game to try to like
experiment.
Yeah, with me, I felt like some parts of the game were too easy just because I was like, all right, I'm gonna go buy more ammo and then just sit there and shoot this thing until I don't have to move. Until I'm finally forced to move, and then I got one pan smack, and then I'm done. You know, to where you're actually like bouncing off the screen, trying to avoid things, and I'm until I got to those things that ran at me where I couldn't shoot them anymore. And
I guess so. I mean, when you
put it down, in a way, I was like spoiled because I had I could replenish myself. You know. Yeah. I was like, I was walking around with 6 health packs just because I could. You know.
Yeah. And you know what? I haven't even mentioned why I played so broke.
Well, I thought it was a post-apocalyptic world. You didn't have money.
It's because because I had a gang of money in the beginning of the game.
Okay.
And then I just spent it on expanding my inventory.
Oh, damn. So you bought slots for things you couldn't afford.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Look at all the room I have for all the shit that I can't fill.
I mean, you could have at least cooked. You could have,
I know.
Filled it up with cooking.
Yeah, but then I stopped finding ingredients in the wild, and I couldn't afford it.
Because you didn't have your treasure hunter.
I didn't have my treasure hunter. Man. Maybe if I ever do go back and play the game, I know how to...
See, like I said, I might go back just to get the full concept of the story down, because there's a lot of parts I feel like I missed.
You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and get into the story then. I think we can... I don't even know if this is really a game that you can spoil, because the game itself or the story itself is so vague.
And it's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, so we can, I just mentioned Monk Hollywood, right? And for somebody who hasn't played the game, like they've, like, what is that?
That whole train ride was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
I was like, is there people dressed in monkey suits, or is it like, are they actually monkeys? And they were really monkeys.
Right.
Which was kind of like,
dude, you know what I completely missed? And then it didn't hit me until much afterwards. They were farming humans.
Were they humans, or were they one specific? Or
no, they were farming humans
to make monkeys.
No, the monkeys under a certain character. They were trying to recreate humans.
Oh.
And like because you know how when you first get into Monk Hollywood, and then you pass this area where it's kind of like
and they're all in that screening, go watch TV thing.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, they're so dumb, like don't even bother talking to them.
Yeah,
it's because they were basically failed experiments.
So they were all like brain dead, just watching TV.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man. There's a lot of the story I missed just because
it's looking. It's pretty dark.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like the Monkey Hollywood part. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite parts of the game too.
Like the whole part where you're like, the director's kind of giving you direction, and
yeah. That whole sequence.
Yeah, you're just like emotionless, and they're like, "Yes, that was brilliant," you know. And then you got the lead actor monkey that's like, he's not that great. I'm locking myself in my room. Like, don't talk to me. And he's in the bathroom the whole time.
And then there's that one that's like a prima donna who she goes, what did she say? She's like she's kind of like she's above you, but then like when the director loves you and you're like poised to be a star, she's like suddenly she's like I think she wants to date you or something.
Yeah. She's attracted to power.
Yeah, Monk Hollywood was awesome.
Yeah, I thought that part was funny.
Yeah. But the story itself, it's like, I don't really know how to describe it because, like you said, it's all over the place. But like the essential premise of the game is you start off underground, you make it up to the surface, and then you just go east.
Yeah, I mean, there's even a part in the game where it says just go eastward.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, okay, good call back to the title. I get it.
They said it.
I'm like, okay, now the game is self-aware. But yeah, it was like one of those, you know, when the game starts and I'm like, okay, you know, you got the mayor, it's kind of a douche, and you know, there's like, all right, you're gonna start like a corruption kind of thing, you know, and then it's like, okay, no, now you're being sentenced to death, and it's like, okay, cool. What I gotta fight out of? And then you're taking a train. You're like, where did the train come from? But he thinks it's like some
wasn't it cool though? That
underground
it was like
monster, you know,
a mall.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, I think
and
that,
the whole reason why everyone is trapped under there is because they don't realize you flip the switch. Like, the train doesn't work because there's like nothing's come through here because the track is closed.
Well, I think that the mayor knew that, but he just like having control.
Yeah, but like everyone else was like,
oh yeah, just,
you know, like we live on this, yeah, you know. But
yeah, but you know, the whole like miasma stuff and like the world above, like there's definitely dangers up there, and you can see why the town underground was, you know, underground
sheltered.
Yeah. but you know, like if you were definitely able to live, you know, a pretty comfortable life for the most part. It wasn't glamorous or anything. Like that first town that we go into where we in Uva, like it was a very humble town.
Yeah,
but they were all happy.
Yeah,
you know, and I remember thinking to myself, like, man, why would you ever leave? Yeah, you know, and then like they were even setting John up to get married.
Oh yeah, they're trying to set him up, man.
Yeah, you know, and then it like I don't think that the story really truly begins until you meet Alva and Lee.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm.
Medium City.
Like the game throws me for a loop because it's like the first couple chapters are kind of. It feels like they're just fillers, you know? Like, the main story has nothing to do with what happened previously, you know?
Yeah, like the underground just...
Yeah.
Like, we never go back, we never know what happens to them. Even by the end of the game, like, after everything's said and done, like, you go east, but you never come back. Yeah. And I was looking forward to hopefully going back to New Dam City and...
Yeah, okay, so you know how in the beginning of the game, everyone's so stuck on that game? What's it called?
Earthborn.
Earthborn. Okay, so everyone's stuck on that game. And then at the end of the game, you meet those people that know the game.
They are the game, Nick.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch them.
You know? You know, like when they all transform?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they basically are the Earthborn crew, and then, I mean, they were much older. Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of like looking at Barnacle Boy and Mermaid Man.
See, I guess that's why I was thrown off. I was like, okay, so are these her friends from before? And going through all this kind of puts you in this weird time loop? Because, you know, everything you're going through,
you're talking about, like, the Groundhog Day section?
Yeah, you know, because it's like all that, and it's like, okay, are you in this weird time loop where everything underground is now up in the surface, and that's your old crew that you were playing the game with in the, when you're getting kicked out of school and all that.
Oh.
And I was thinking, okay, they all know Sam, but they call her mother. You know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I legitimately forgot all about the underground. Like by that point in the game, because we had done so much.
Exactly, and that's why I got maybe that's
at that point in the game, the focus wasn't, it was on finding Isabel.
Yeah.
So, I
that's why I was kind of like, okay, when you get to that part and you're just like, it's freaking Groundhog Day, and like we had been talking about off recording how, you did it in 2 tries. I had to take it on 3 because I wasn't paying attention to the order, but it seemed like that time loop, it was like what was the city called?
Estertown?
Estertown?
Esther City, I think.
Okay, yeah. So it's like, there's like a weird space-time.
Esther City.
Yeah, and it's, so was it like, did you and John not age in that time where everything's looping and everything that you're doing?
Well, it seemed like the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But because I think when you were stuck in the train, you were like kind of in a bubble that the rest of the world moved forward.
Yeah, during Monkey Town, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because even characters like Solomon
he aged.
Yeah, and then by the time you see Solomon in Esther City, he completely looks different from when you first meet him.
Yeah. Well, even towards the end of the game, he's old. And he's Professor Solomon.
Yeah.
And then there's a time loop where he's no longer...
It could be the kids from the underground.
I don't know.
But I don't know, man. It would be a good way to kind of combine, connect it to the whole stuff, the whole story sequences in the beginning of the game.
Yeah. Now you got to look it up. Because now it's gonna.
Yeah, I'm really curious. Super curious if it. Just...
But I mean, that's kind of what I went with. Like when I played through the game, and I was like, "Oh, it's your old crew," and then it's like you guys are now living the game, trying to fight Professor Solomon. Like spoiler alert.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. It completely. You know what I thought it was? I thought it was Mother before she became Sam. And these are all the people that she knew.
And that's another thing is...
and it
Mother
could be that.
Was like a holograph of Sam, but it was Alva the whole time.
Was it?
Yeah, Isabel takes her and she puts her in that thing to save her because she doesn't want her to die or something like that. Yeah. So then she reanimates her every single time.
Holy.
Did you miss that?
No, I just didn't make the connection. I didn't think it was. No, what I thought was just like, okay, I took it as Isabel is doing to Alva what they already did with Sam, because Sam was the original.
Got it.
So they're like, I took it as like, oh, this is it worked for Sam. Now let's try it with Alva.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I didn't even catch that.
I mean, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like your interpretation is pretty interesting too.
Yeah.
And I mean, like that's kind of like the whole point.
Yeah, because when the whole thing happens, when she gets kidnapped or whatever, and they disappear forever, and then you're constantly chasing them down, and you're behind. It seems like you're behind a step, and then finally when you catch them, the whole time, like I don't know about you, but when you go to that human factory, I think that's actually what they call it.
Yeah.
And you see all the little people in there, it's like, what the hell is going on, But you see Solomon messing with things. And then he's interacting with Mother.
Yeah.
But it's hologram Sam.
Yeah.
So that kind of threw me the whole time. Because I'm like, is Sam good? Is Sam bad? Is all this caused because of her,
Yeah.
But then when you get towards the end of the game, Isabel starts talking about, no, I need to save Alva. I need to do this. I need to do that. And then you see Alva in the little bubble.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, yeah.
And then, towards the last parts of the game, one of the cutscenes is you see a bunch of little Alvas in the bubbles.
Oh.
Like a bunch of them, Mm-hmm. And then when you're fighting it, it's Sam. Or she gets the white hair.
Yeah.
So is Alva Sam? It could. I don't know if I missed something in the final cutscene and I wasn't paying attention because I played tired a lot and I fell asleep a lot.
I don't know, man.
Stupid dialogue.
That's crazy. Like I don't know. I don't know. think that's kind of the whole point, though, is that like what you took out of it is not what I took out of it, or the way you interpreted things, you know. And it was left vague enough so that we could have this conversation here, you know. Fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, but I mean, at the last cutscene, Sam comes back and she's grown up and she's got nice long white hair and John's still sitting at a bus stop.
Right. So did John not age? You know,
that's what I'm saying.
All right. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's trippy, but
my biggest question is, did he still have his pen?
What did you think of John?
I thought he was cool, strong, silent type.
Yeah,
fuck you up with a pan.
I love John, dude. Like, I know that he's supposed to be, you know, kind of like Link, that he doesn't talk, right?
Yeah.
But even though he doesn't talk, he has his mannerisms that show you that he has his own character. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't talk.
Yeah.
But he very clearly cares about Sam. Mm-hmm. And like like where Sam does all the talking, like
yeah, but there's times where he communicates because and in that city with Uva, there's times where she's talking to him, but he just doesn't have any speech bubbles, no dialogue.
Yeah, that's true. And I think in instances like that, it's where, you know, we're supposed to project the conversation that they would be having, you know.
Yeah.
The way that, you know, Link was created to project for the players.
He would still get some dots or something.
Yeah. But, you know, like, I think they did a really good job of characterizing John without having him have to say anything.
Yeah.
And for that, I think John's pretty cool.
John's pretty cool in my book.
And I know you're all about the facial hair, but I'm not. So I can't project to John.
I think that's why it was even funnier. Is that he's just like,
I'm a burly, strong man.
I'm a manly man from the underground.
You know what? I really like that everybody complimented how strong he was too.
Yeah, because it was the beard brought him power. Should grow one, get some power. Grow a beard, start walking around with a pan. People won't mess with you. I'm telling you. Get one of those bubble jackets, you know.
Hey, you, why you got a pen?
I'll show you why. Bink. To answer stupid questions.
No, you don't even say anything.
That's assault.
Ah, man. All right, dude. So, final thoughts?
I really like the game. I think I'm actually going to go back through it just to I want to understand the story more. And even like trying to prepare for coming on the podcast, because this is the first time I've ever done anything like this.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I didn't sound like an idiot.
Yeah. All good.
I think I do anyway.
Well, but I think us doing the outline of the chapter summaries, the way we did it.
Yeah, I think it helped a lot. Mm-hmm. And then trying to find videos of like just trying to not so much get a review of it, but I wanted to kind of get like a story breakdown or like an explanation of the story, just so I can kind of refresh, because I finished the game like 2 or 3 weeks before you were done with it, and I had already moved on to something else. So a lot of the details had kind of missed me. Yeah, and that's why I don't remember if it was Alva that was inside of those bubbles or if it was
Alva in like massive bubbles.
Yeah. And then so that's why, you know what I mean. And then at the end, you're fighting what looks to be Sam's hologram in the little. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you saw it.
Yeah,
I beat it twice in front of you.
Okay. No, but yeah,
just saying.
Yeah, I know that there's gonna be the Steam version of the game. I think it already has an update where it lets you pick out chapters. You can go back to
dope.
Replay chapters.
Yeah. I
don't know if the Switch version already has that, but
I honestly didn't even check.
I didn't even check either.
I didn't know they were updating it.
Like, the update came out after we already finished the game, so I didn't bother.
Well, even right now, though, it would have given me that option, but it threw me right back into the final boss fight.
So, yeah, it's probably not out yet for the Switch, but I know that the Steam version has that chapter, selection screen or option. But, yeah, this game was interesting.
Yeah, I really liked it. I did.
I think that it would, I don't know if I want to call it my game of the year, but it's pretty up there.
To be fair, you haven't finished very many games this year.
Podcast over, man.
Leave now.
There's the door.
Wait, you're in my office.
Alrighty, man. No, but it was a pretty solid game. I really enjoyed it. And I think like getting to play with you and kind of like go back and forth, like with you on it.
Yeah.
Like throughout the process of it made it a lot more enjoyable because I had already put the game on the backlog before you started playing it.
Oh, okay.
And then when you started like telling me like, oh, I'm already here, I was like, oh, then I'm putting everything else on hold and I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm gonna keep playing the game with you. Mm-hmm. And but I think that because of like the presentation, the story, the aesthetic, the music, which we didn't even get into, but I really like the music.
I actually did like it.
Yeah,
I think that's part of the reason why I kept like dozing. It was soothing.
Yeah.
It was like soft music that I was just like, okay.
It's a pretty dark story, but it has like whimsical music at times.
Right?
Yeah. And that I think that if this game were to come out like a few years, not a few years ago, like a couple decades ago, like if this was a game that came out like in the 90s, I think that people would be putting it on their favorite games list the way that they would with like, some of the Final Fantasy games and, Zelda games and stuff. Because
do you think it would be too similar to those though?
Well, I mean, it's clearly very inspired by them.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It pays homage to those games that came before it. But if this was a game that came out with those games as its contemporary, like I mean, maybe it wouldn't have been exactly the same, But
yeah,
but if what they set out to do. And it was like close enough as it could be for the time, like where it still would exist in the bubble that is the 90s or, where pixel art was the standard. I think that people would be still talking about the game today, singing its praises and like, oh, I love this game. Just the way that people say it was like Chrono Trigger is my favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know if Eastward is going to be a game that people will continue talking about even next year. But because, pixel art is not the standard, with AAA games.
But I think that's what's so cool.
Yeah, I know. And so I think like it's really going to be like just an indie darling for people who are really into indie games.
Yeah. Or for those that have played it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that when you had said that you had put it down for a while and I started playing it, I was like, well, I don't want to go through this thing by myself, right?
Yeah.
And this was at the time that I had just gotten the OLED model. Yeah. So I gave the Switch Lite that I was playing to my son.
Right.
And he's like, oh, well, I don't have any games because I never bought any like cartridges and, everything was digital and he couldn't play anything digital. So I was like, I'll tell you what, I'm actually going to start this game. I'll buy it for you and then we'll play through it together too.
Yeah.
He never picked it up.
Aww.
I was like, dang, man.
Yeah. Well, you motivated me to keep playing the game, so that's cool.
You're welcome.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks a lot for coming on. Hi, Mom, dude.
Yeah, no problem, man. I actually had a good time.
Thank you.
It wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to
be. It's all good. So
we do this on the daily.
But do you want to plug in your your socials, or you want to like talk about Shifted, or?
I really don't do much on social. I've been off of it for like a while. The only thing I really do is like post stories on my detailing account. I detail on the side.
Yeah, auto detailing.
Yeah,
we'll talk about
Shifted auto detailing
on
Instagram, and that's the only thing I'm on.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
All right, cool. I'll leave a link in or I'll post it all up on the show notes and stuff.
Show.
Yeah. But thanks a lot, Nick.
Anytime, my dude.
And as per usual, and hi, Mom, we finish off by saying hi to our moms.
So, hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Bye, Mom.
Bye, Mom.